first, the challenger fighting tonight. Out of the red corner, he's wearing white with black and gray and weighed in at 8 stone, 9 pounds. Coming to us from Birmingham, he brings a professional record consisting of 13 wins with just 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Showtime, Sean Davis! And his opponent across the ring, he is the defending champion fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing blue with white and silver and weighed in the same as his opponent, 8 stone, 9 pounds. Hailing from West Raynton, County Durham, he is undefeated with 21 wins. 2 come on way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning and defending British Super Bantamweight Champion, Thomas Patrick Ward.
I expect you're both interested in what I expect out of Professor all times, obey my instructions, watch your and keep it clean. Any questions? Let's go to work.
Should be an all-action fight, this one. They're not big punchers, but they are good technically. And my goodness, they throw an awful lot. The British Super Bantamweight title, Tommy Ward defending, the man from the northeast, managed by Big Dave Garside, and Sean Davis from Birmingham, trained by a fella called Carlos Christie. Real name, Peter, but he called himself Carlos after, you know, Barry, don't you? Carlos Monzon.
Yeah, I remember Carlos. I can't remember Carlos Monzon from the great fight that he was. I remember Carlos Christie from my days.
Tommy Ward's got Neil Fannin in his corner. Long associated with Michael Hunter, of course, who lost a world title challenge a few years back against Steve Molitor.
My feeling for this fight was always that Ward was probably the better technician, and Davis, you know, even though he'd have to commit, they would have to be educated and no attacks. He couldn't just go gung-ho because he would just be picked off every time, so he's got to find plenty of angles and move up and down the body as well, up and down the ladder with the punches. Plenty of variety, because Ward will, you'll clock what you're doing, he'll time it, you do the same combination twice, and he'll counter you the next time round.
Heads going in close. Ward had a very good win winning this title against Jazza Dickens. Actually, an accidental cut ended it in the 9th round, but he was well ahead on the judges' cards, although Dickens had just started to come on a little bit stronger in the latter stages of that fight, but nevertheless, it was a really good boxing performance from Ward.
Yeah, it really was, and just showing those good counter-punching ability there. Just Davis falling a little bit short with the right hand, and just not heavy shots, but really sharp, fast-clipping left hooks from Ward. Needs a few feints before he comes in there, Davis. Punch and feint every time.
Says that this is his world title fight. He said winning a British title would be kind of a dream come true for him. There have been times when he's thought about walking away from the sport because he wasn't getting the rewards he wanted, and here he can touch something which is really tangible, special for a lad who comes from a big family, one of 7 kids, and now looking to provide for his young family.
Well, it's a bright start from Davis. He's being picked off a little bit, I think, coming forward, but it's the right sort of idea. A little bit more head movement, maybe, but he knows he has to put the pressure on Ward. He's the one who has to make the play, but with that comes a risk of being picked off, and I think that's maybe just what's happening in this first round.
Ward undefeated, Davis has 1 defeat, and no disgrace in it either. He was beaten by Gamal Yafai, who's a good fighter.
And he was doing well in that fight, in patches in that fight against Yafai. He's not only a good boxer, but a good puncher also.
Well, he prides himself on his fitness, Sean Davis. He says, there is nobody but nobody in boxing who is fitter than me. It's a nice body shot from Ward. Such good balance, hasn't he, Tommy Ward?
Yeah, and he got fast reactions as well.
So, interesting opening round. Another 11 to come, maybe. Such a good judger of distance, Tommy Ward. Another one who comes from a travelling family, Tommy Ward. Real gentleman.
Yeah, he is, but what he has is really fast reaction. So you know, you've seen him with it. To be honest, in that first round, he must have landed about 6 left hooks, really sharp, nothing heavy, but it's just the reaction is so quick. Davis didn't do much wrong, but he had to, you know, he had to take a few shots because he fell a little bit short.
He's technically so good, isn't he? Which is why he's always in demand, Tommy. Not only as a good fighter in his own right, but as a sparring partner, because he's been in with people like Scott Quigg, like Josh Warrington, and because he's technically so good, he's ideal.
Nice little left hook there, though, from Davis. And Davis, you know, he got the reach exceeds his length, doesn't he? He got really long arms for a short fella, Davis. So those long looping left hooks can be effective for him.
He said by his own admission, Sean, that he was a troublesome teen, and boxing gave him something to focus on and rein himself in. Many a fighter like that. There's a nice left-hand lead from Davis.
Yeah. Just dipped his legs before he threw it, so didn't not only generate more power, but he threw it up as well, so it was harder to defend against. Oh, look at that.
Lovely, sweet little right-hand counter from Ward.
You know, there's nothing in the shot, but it's a beautiful scoring punch, and clear to see by the footwork and moving out of the way, making space for the shot.
Sort of shot which is easily seen by the judges as well.
And that's the problem Davis has. He has to commit himself to come forward, but the risk of that is walking on the punches, or it is being countered. But he has to make the play. He's not going to win the boxing match, is he? He's not going to win it from the outside, Davis.
Steve Gray, who's going to be refereeing the main event tonight, Phil Edwards and Dave Parris, the 3 judges for this one.
Oh, lovely left uppercut there from Ward. Davis still trying to pile the pressure on. That's his best bet, doubling up the jab.
Davis will keep coming, we know that.
Just landed with a good right hand there, Davis.
But is he going to be technically good enough to stay with Ward?
Well, he landed with a good right hand there, and Ward, again, those fast reaction times, just lands with 2 back.
He was the English champion. Sean Davis beats Jason Booth, admittedly at the back end of Booth's career, and won a WBC international title as well. Had a good win against Paul Economides.
He's a good fighter, and he's a nightmare. He's so high energy, he's so fit, and he's a twitchy fighter as well, so he's hard to read.
The first round you gave to Tommy Ward. We'll hear how you've scored that one in just a moment, as one goes in just after the bell.
Yeah, more clearly for me, John. I think Davis has the right idea, and he has to put the pressure on, but being picked off, I think, by the faster hands and just a better technique of Ward at the minute. That's good there from Davis. So that's it. That really intense pressure. You want to make Ward throw when he's uncomfortable, when he doesn't want to, and that's what tires him out. That's effective pressure. Even if you maybe are losing the rounds, it's all in the bank for later on in the fight to push on.
Well, they'll be only too well aware, the Davis camp, that Ward, brilliant though he was in the early stages against Jazza Dickens was showing signs of getting back at him after the halfway stage, maybe. Sure Jazza will be watching somewhere and thinking, I would like to have another chance at one of these guys.
I'm sure that'll come again. Getting good footwork there from Ward, but have to take a little clipping right hand there from Davis. Again, with those unusually long arms. You think it's in a safe distance, but he can still land.
Lovely right-hand counter, though, from Ward. That was quality. Stopped him in his tracks, didn't it? Yeah,
1-2 right on the pipe one there from Ward there. Changes direction with his feet as well. Hard to read. He does it every so often. He just goes to the right. He moves, obviously, like an orthodox fighter would, to the left. Every now and again, just changes direction, which means Davis got to reset himself and try and cut you off.
All the time, Davis keeps coming forward, tries to keep the pressure on. But the quality, you sense, is coming from the champion at this point.
And that's exactly what it is. But he's having to do a lot of work with the feet, is Ward. But, you know, when you are that sort of boxer, you train that way.
Well, he doesn't get stoppages, does he? Normally, it's not the way. It's not the way he wins. No. He wins by fleet-footedness and by being a stylist.
Oh, it's great work as well there from Ward. Nothing heavy with the shots, but he's scoring, and he's out of the way clear then.
The gum shield's come out there. Yeah, it has indeed. He indicated to the referee that had happened, and the rules are that it can be replaced, washed, of course, before being put back in. And away we go.
Now he's the shorter fighter, Davis, but he needs to get even lower. Make Ward, like Ward, no, he's an accurate puncher, but make him punch down. It's harder to be accurate when you're punching down. And that means he might have to overreach as well. Gives Davis a chance then to land with his home counter attacks. Again, the work ethic's good from Davis, but again, yet again, for me, still getting picked off here by Ward. Landing with everyone on the good clipping right hand again there from Davis.
Davis keeping plying forward, but pressure though he might, he's just not landing enough clean shots. Looks like another Ward round for me, this one.
Davis coming forward. Davis has to do that. You can't. He's not going to win the fight any other way.
Second round, round 4.
Just got to hook this pressure that he's putting on Ward. He's going to tire the legs of Ward and maybe have an effect as the fight goes on. Because at the minute, it's getting picked off. Not at ease, but effective enough for him to win the rounds. Quite clear for me, Ward.
Next fight that we're going to be seeing on the card after this, Josh Leather against Glenn Foot, real northeastern battle, and it was a sparky confrontation between the two of them at the press conference earlier this week, and these two lads were sitting right between them.
Well, to be honest, Davis with his comments just diffused the whole situation, didn't he, John?
Yeah,
something you couldn't do, John. You were paid to do that job, and Davis did it for you.
What he said was, whose idea was it to put the two smallest blokes in the room between these two? Well, he started this round a bit brighter, hasn't he?
Well, he was the same as he had the other rounds. He's putting the pressure on. He's just got to hope the legs slow down of Ward. Again, you stay low, you roll under the punches. And I think Davis got to throw in spurts as well. Like rat-a-tatting, you know, you got to go like 4 straight punches, hard, fast, commit with the combination. That's good from Ward. Single shots, Ward's going to count you all day long. The only encouraging sign for Davis is...
Look at that for defensive skills.
The only encouraging sign for Davis is Ward maybe not going to hurt him. So he can still ply forward. Even though he's going to be losing the rounds, he's got to try and put all his work in the bank.
Voluntary defence, this one for Ward.
It's good again from Ward. Good angle with the left hook.
He's boxing beautifully at the moment, Barry.
It's the footwork superb. In and out of distance, spinning off the front foot as well.
Yeah, way in his attack, switching attack from body to head as well. No great power, as you've said, but lots of variety.
And to be honest, John, I know when you're not, I wasn't a puncher, but no stress of the imagination. When you're not a puncher, if you can punch hard enough to stop him, you resign yourself to not being a puncher. If you punch hard enough to stop it from walking through you, then you're happy. If you can get your boxing into play, then that's enough for you to do your work.
Comes from a fighting family, Tommy Ward, and you can see his brothers and other family members at ringside applauding enthusiastically every time he produces some eye-catching shots.
Davis just following Ward around the ring a little bit. It's a bright start at the beginning of the round, but Ward just Again, better footwork, just doing enough again in this round for me.
Well, I suspect that the judges are likely to be seeing that now as 4 out of 4 for Tommy Ward. Meanwhile, we're getting closer to our main event. Liam Smith against Liam Williams, and Ronald McIntosh is with Williams' trainer Gary Lockett.
Gary, thanks for taking the time to speak with us ahead of this huge rematch for your fighter, Liam Williams. How have preparations gone for this rematch?
Really, really well. Very, very well. And in great shape and ready to go tonight.
Ready to go. What have you learned as a team, and what's Liam learned as a fighter from that first contest? How can he put that experience into practice tonight?
Well, you know, he's fairly inexperienced when he went into the fight, I think. You know, I think Liam Smith had about 10 fights more experience. So he's had to learn on the job, really, with the last fight. So, you know, the 9 rounds will have given him great experience to go into the rematch tonight. And we're very confident.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. All the best tonight.
Thanks a lot.
All calm at the moment, Barry. A little bit of a peace before the storm. I think I've really been looking forward to this. You know, I mean, as a professionally, obviously commentating, but as a fight fan, to see Smith and Williams in the ring once again.
Well, I was looking. I didn't work the last one, so I just sat down watching it as a fan. It was enthralling. It really was, and we knew that. And this fight would be exactly. It cannot be. It would be exactly the same pattern. You know, hopefully it's not so much cuts and we get a conclusive winner, a clear winner, and a clean winner. That's what we need, whoever it may be. But it's another fight where you can, as you've been saying all week, you speak to 12 people, 6 will pick Williams, 6 will pick Smith.
Interestingly, I checked on the odds a few minutes ago, and it's marginally, and it is marginally, that Williams is the gambling favourite.
As he was in the first fight, I think, John.
Indeed. That's good, lovely work from Ward. Such great balance as he made those shots to the body and then stepped away out of range.
He's boxing really, really well. I'm sure look at Davis saying, apologising for that.
What are we saying, that he's taken the first 4 rounds fairly comfortably?
I think so, yeah. I think it has. You know, Davis has tried to put him under pressure, but I think the footwork of Ward has given himself enough space to land with the cleaner shots, and yeah, he's boxing well. To be honest, Davis in many ways the style-wise is maybe made for him. But if his legs slow down and Davis can keep the energy, then you know the fight might start to swing the other way. But at the minute, if Ward can keep this movement going, then I struggle to see how Davis can have any more effect than he's having. He's landing with the odd shot, and he's making it a competitive job for sure. But look at this again from Ward. Very accurate as well, isn't he?
Yeah, shorter shots, more correct shots.
Yeah, he doesn't waste a lot.
Davis trying to wing him in, trying to keep the pressure on, and he keeps coming forward, and he's not being hurt by what's coming back from Ward, or not massively. That's another nice left hand from Tommy Ward as he came into range, but he's just not getting through with enough.
Oh, he's boxing very well here, Ward. Lovely, he got lovely skills.
Combination again, lovely fast hands. You see his corner just applauding that work. They're loving it.
You know, I'm more impressed with the footwork because he's throwing those shots and then he's out of the way. Nothing. No, if Davis is willing to throw back, and that's because he knows he's not a KO artist, so he's not trying to stay in there, looking to dig away and risking getting caught himself. He's landing with his clean scoring punches, and then he's out of distance then.
Well, we'll be hearing from Jamie Moore, of course, after this fight is over, who's training Carl Frampton, who's going to be in action next weekend for you on BT Sport, the return of the Jackal, and I'm sure he'll be very much in admiration of the footwork and the technique that Ward's producing here.
It's a really good performance from Ward. That's good there from Davis. So he cut the ring off for the first time, Davis.
Head's going in close.
Ward tying him up there because this is where Davis wants to work, trying to work, but Ward effectively tying him up.
Another good round that for Tommy Ward.
Starting to pull away now, John.
Well, we've got a close-up there for you of Tommy Ward, and just look above his left eye when his cornerman gets out of the way, because that's Neil Fannin just giving... But there's a nick just below the left eyebrow, and they've had to put quite a lot of grease on there. Probably done by a punch, I would think, judging by looking at the way in which he's cut.
Yeah, I think so, John. I think the heads have come together a few times, but there's been nothing really bad. But it's a nick. It's barely a scratch, to be honest. I don't think that will affect him at all.
No, it's not in any way going to impact on the fight.
Good fast hands again there from Ward. And it's right, and even Davis, he holds his hand really wide, doesn't he, Davis? And there's an inviting gap right on the centre of his guard. And Ward's just spearing his punches right down the centre of it every time. Oh, beautiful. Just beautiful upper body movement as well there from Ward.
Been busy, hasn't he, Ward? It's his 22nd pro fight. He's only 23 years old.
Yeah, fantastic. Trying to stick to his task, though. You've got to give Davis his credit. He's trying to stick to the task, trying to keep the pressure on Ward.
Well, he's not getting massively discouraged, is he? He knows what he's got to do. He's got to keep the pressure on somehow. Land more than he is doing. Did get through with a sneak right hand there.
But with the guy, no, actually, he's slowed his feet down a little bit, Ward, here by choice. But to slow him down, you've got to get those body shots in now, Davis. And taking away that body.
I know Earl Johnson, his manager, has been trying to get him to plant his feet and deliver with a bit more authority, Sean Davis, rather than just throw any number of punches from crazy angles.
Well, I think the volume of punches is fine, but because he is always on the balls of his feet, because he's up and down, a little bit jumpy, then it obviously reduces the power when you don't dig your feet into the canvas.
Nearing the halfway stage of this fight, 12-rounder, of course, for the British title.
When he throws a right hand over the top like that, Davis, he clearly missed. You've got to come back with the left hook.
Step away, Sean, step away.
Good body shot there from Ward. Paid back by Davis over the left hook. See, though, Davis stayed nice and low there, but he was in a safe place there and able to attack. But Ward's boxing really well.
It's very easy on the eye, isn't it?
Yeah. It's lovely, look at that, beautiful stuff. And again, all with the footwork. I'm more impressed with the footwork than I am with the punches.
Ducks and weaves out of the target area there. Look, although Davis trying to land big shots, pretty much nothing getting through in the initial attack. He did get a right hand through there.
He landed with a couple on the ropes there, Davis, to his credit, but Ward, I think Ward might be cut over the right eye now, John.
Is it over or under?
No, it's over.
He's got blood on his cheek.
It's over the right eye, and I think it's a lot worse than the left.
Well, I wonder if this is going to be a factor. Yes, it's certainly a worse cut than the first time, and they've got work to do in that corner now. You see the nick.
Worse than the left, for sure.
Said it, make him miss and make him pay. Just what you've been doing all night.
Corners 10 seconds.
Nice and
Seconds out, round 7.
You still give that last round to Ward?
Yes, definitely, John. I think he's won everything so far. Davis is making it competitive, but he's being, to be honest, he's being outboxed.
He's being outboxed, but the champion is marked up. He's cut above both eyes. Davis will be only too well aware of that.
Well, it's a family curse, isn't it, with cuts, because we had...
Yeah, very much so.
We had up here a few years ago with his brother Martin Ward challenging Stewie Hall for the world title. His fight finished on cuts.
Marcus McDonnell apparently walked around the ring at the end of the 6th round saying that second injury, we saw the first injury, which was above the left eye, but the second injury, well, apparently Ronald McIntosh telling me that he's saying that the first one, not the second one, was caused by a punch rather than a clash of heads. Second one, though, is very much the worse injury.
Yeah, it's good there from Davis, doubling up or tripling up with the jab, I should say. He's to finish off with that right hand, though. It's good footwork and 1-2 combination there from Ward again. His feet have slowed, not a lot, just a little bit.
Blood just starting to seep out of that injured right eye again. Got to be careful that it doesn't affect the vision.
Cuddy's being picked off, you know, quite efficiently there, Davis. He's just waiting too long to let his own punches go now. There's a good left hook though there from Davis. Nice sharp right hand back there though from Ward, and the left hook.
You've got to applaud the sheer determination though of Davis. Just refuses to take a backward step and keeps on carrying the fight toward. Was a clash of heads incidentally which caused that second injury. And he's just starting to blow a little bit for the first time, Tommy Ward. Maybe the relentless attacks of Davis are just starting to gain a little bit of a reward.
Oh, lovely jab there from Ward off the ropes. This is what Davis wants. We're going to take a little step to the side there, Davis.
Heads going in again, and the warning coming clearly from Marcus McDonald. He won't stand for any more of that.
It's also because he's the shorter fighter and he's coming in low. Ward's always going to get the worst of it. It's a lovely 1-2 there from Ward.
Davis, though, senses an opportunity, and he came swinging in behind that big right hand again. Head went very close once more. Lands with one right hand, though. Good round.
Yeah, closer round. I just give that to Davis, John, on pressure and work rate. I think Ward landed with some good shots again, but I think the just relentless pressure and the solid work rate there from Davis maybe just nicked the round.
Just was I imagining it, just seeing for the first time that it looked maybe just as though Ward was gassing just a touch?
It just like he felt the pressure for the first time, and that's what Davis wanted, the feet to slow down of Ward.
Yes, man.
There starts trickling down there. So it's one of those two clash of heads there, John. Hasn't been a factor yet, though.
Seconds out, round 8.
So we move into the 8th round. Barry's got it 6-1 to Tommy Ward, the champion. But Davis keeps on coming and keeps believing. He's never stopped to fight to Sean Davis. He might have to stop this one if he's going to take the title.
Which is hard to believe, because even though he's not a big puncher, you just think he'd overwhelm fighters, wouldn't you? He's relentless coming forward. Oh, it's lovely from Ward. And the gum shield out again there from Davis.
That third time it's happened, isn't it?
That's boxing with your mouth open, which is dangerous because you can have your jaw broken that way. That's all that is, that's a punch. And it keeps happening, the referee will take a point away.
It is an old pros act, of course, when fighters are under pressure. They sometimes see the gum shield spat out just to buy a few seconds, but no sense that that's the case this time.
No. I used to try and do it, right? A double gum shield, the top and the bottom, and I couldn't spit it out.
Thought you found it easy out of your mouth. Ward just up onto his toes a little more again in this round. And the gum shield's come out yet again. Yet again. Now, what's he going to do about this, the referee?
Well, the second gum shield, you're meant to have a spare all the time. It's one of the rules, so that...
On we go. In theory, if he thinks that he's deliberately spitting the gum shield out, he could take a point away,
of course
couldn't he?
Of course he can, yeah. And then ultimately disqualify him.
but he won't do that. It would be somewhat... Whoa, that's a good shot. Wow. Good right hand from Davis. That's probably the best punch that he's landed in the fight so far.
Good 1-2 there, back though from Ward. And a lovely right hand there from Ward again. Good response.
Quality from both men.
You know, he felt that right hand, but he's just sharpened up again. Heads clashing.
Again, the warning from the referee to Sean Davis to watch his head. Oh, lovely body shot and great balance again as he got away out. Oh, gets through with another right hand. Davis landing once more with an eye-catching shot.
And again there from Davis, good right hand.
He's really gambling and getting in behind these shots, Davis. He's throwing everything at Ward.
Oh, you can't fault his commitment, that's for sure.
He knows that potentially a victory here, after, by his own admission, being pretty much broke through a life in boxing so far, it's potentially a life changer.
Yeah, of course it most definitely is. It's a big stage for him to perform on, and there's bigger fights to wait if you can get the win. There's a good uppercut there as well from Davis.
Having more success since the halfway stage of this fight. Barry gave him the last round. He's had some eye-catching punches here in the 8th as well.
It's another close round, isn't it? Because Ward's boxed well. But you tend to think again, the pressure from Davis. Oh, beautiful shot from Ward.
Yeah, well done to Ward for the boxing, but I just felt that the harder punches and the more telling punches maybe came from Davis, sir.
Yeah, I think so, John. I think I just edged Davis in that round. Again, it was a tight round because Ward landed some lovely shots early in the round, but I think the pressure of Davis there, just the commitment of Davis and those eye.
That Sean Davis has begun to have a little bit of success.
He's doing no good. When you stand, but he takes
Seconds out, round 9.
Moving into the 9th, 12-rounder, a fight which always looked likely to go the distance, this one. But Davis is just coming back at Ward a little.
And also, more than just physically for Davis, psychologically, knowing that he's had some success in the last couple of rounds, where he wasn't really having any success in the first 5 or 6 rounds, will really fire him up.
Good work off the ropes, though, from Ward there. He's under pressure. Crisp little accurate counters to the head.
Oh, nice from Ward.
Body shot, the right hand.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, Davis, he makes little mistakes, only little mistakes, but Ward's got such fast reactions, he makes you pay for it every time. Lovely spinning off the ropes there as well there from Ward.
Davis has to keep on him. He has to continue what he's done in the last 2 rounds. He wound up from a long way back with that right hand, but missed by a distance.
Got to keep that little fidgety style, Davis, when he's coming forward.
Remember, Sean Davis has never had a stoppage win. Tommy Ward's only had a couple in those 21 fights.
Oh, it's lovely from Ward. I was going to say, maybe he's up the work rate a little bit, but when you got fast hands like that, you can get away with waiting.
I wonder whether it's also possibly better from Davis, but he put so much into the last 2 rounds. He's maybe just feeling the old pace that he's setting himself.
Yeah, rightly so, John, because he's been forcing the pace for the whole fight, to his credit. But he's a big push now in the last minute, Davis, because Ward hasn't been that busy, but he's been picking him off again in this round. Oh, nice work. Again, you hold your feet for just a half a second in front of Ward, and he fires those punches off straight away.
This has been a very accomplished round from Tommy Ward, after looking as though he was going through a bit of a rocky spell over the last 2.
He just stopped the momentum that Davis was building up in the last couple of rounds.
Keeping a nice tight guard there. Real sense of anticipation around the audience, around the crowd here in Newcastle. Clash of the Northeast favourites, Josh Leather and Glenn Foote coming up at super lightweight, and we have got the big one coming up after that, Liam Smith against Liam Williams. That's our main event tonight. We've already heard from Gary Lockett in the Liam Williams corner. Let's now hear from Liam Smith's trainer, who is with Ronald McDonald.
Joe, thanks for speaking with us moments ahead of this big rematch for your fighter, Liam Smith. Problems making the weight in the first contest, no such problems this time. What difference will that make to his performance tonight?
I think going in last time, I think the disappointment of not making the weight, knowing if he'd won afterwards as well, that he would have fought for a world title, that played on him. But we've got 100% Liam Smith for this fight, and you'll see that from round 1 tonight.
And what difference will that make? What have you learned from the first fight? How do you put that experience into practice this evening?
I don't necessarily think it's a case of what we're going to do. It's more what Liam Williams, they know what we've got to do. Can they deal with it? They couldn't deal with it last time, and they're not going to be able to handle it tonight. So there you go.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. All the best tonight.
Thank you.
Ronald McIntosh, of course, the man in the dressing room as we move closer to the big matchup between Liam Smith and Liam Williams. And that's how Barry's got this particular contest. Tommy Ward against Sean Davis. Tommy Ward with now a sizable points advantage.
You sure I'm Barry now? You haven't got a nickname for me as well?
Good job, Ronald's a gentle giant, isn't it?
All I know is he's a giant, John, that's all I know.
Nice fast start from Ward, who's up onto his toes once more.
It's been a good clash of stars, actually, hasn't it, John?
Yeah, I mean, it's gelled, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, it really has, yeah. Like the silky skills here of Ward. Dominating most of it, let's be honest, but Davis, putting them enough pressure on to make Ward come up with some classy combinations. But as good as the punches are for Ward, what wins in this fight, if he wins the fight, what wins in most fights, is the footwork. The in and out, the moving, changing direction, gets himself in the position to attack, but he's straight back out in a safe position as well there. So he doesn't take much back. And that also takes away your power, because you're always on the balls of your feet, always looking to move in or move away, almost when you're throwing the punches.
Good right hand from Davis. Ward takes it well, though.
Good effort again here for Davis. He's getting picked off again, to be honest, but he's looking to dig those body shots in, maybe a few rounds too late. Oh, lovely. Again, little change of direction, he's just moving. Davis don't know where the cut him off, he's going left, he's going right.
You watch the balance of Tommy Ward. This, of course, is why so many boxers over the years have always used skipping ropes as part of their training. Big effort again from Davis. He'll have been told by his corner that he's got to have a huge round, and surely they know that he's got to stop him somehow.
Yeah, he's trying there. He got clipped with the left hook just coming in there, Davis, but doesn't care, keeps throwing. Just needs to take a step to the side. When he gets Ward on the ropes, just take a little step to the side.
Blood started flowing again. Whether that cut's been worsened or not, I'm not sure, but he was dabbing anxiously at it, Tommy Ward. And the right eye is looking worse.
Yeah, it is.
Going to have a look at it, I think. Heads have come in, and the right eye does look a mess. I'm sure that the doctor will be having a look at that in the corner between rounds.
Good right hand there from Davis. Until the blood's wiped away, though, you can't really tell how bad it is. Oh, good right hand there from Ward to finish the round.
Well, they've got problems in that corner, and let's just see if we can see just how bad it is. Dear me, that has got worse.
Deep breath.
second zone.
We've got Ward a long way clear, but do the judges agree? Doctor will have had a look at that. Well, he's going to have another look at it. He's calling. Oh no, it's not the doctor. He's getting him to take the grease off the eyebrow. Too much, according to Marcus McDonald.
Tell you something though, John, if Davis had a bit of a punch, you know, it's when he brings those left hooks in, those long left hooks, or those right hands over the top, if he had enough of weight behind the shot to really just stop you in your tracks.
He started fast here. Yeah, if he had some power, he would he'd be a nightmare, wouldn't he? And he takes a shot.
He does take a shot. And he's fit and he committed to his task. He hasn't stopped once coming forward. Just think, no, he's up against a guy who's technically much better than him, and that's nothing you could do about that. But he needed to get a little bit lower. I think it's the angles of his attack, especially once he had Ward on the ropes, could have been just moved a little bit to the side and worked away there. But for the best part, you can't fault his effort and his commitment at all.
Well, he's headhunting now, and of course the target is those damaged eyes, particularly the right eye. And Ward trying to keep his gloves up, trying to keep out of harm's way. He knows that Davis is going to throw everything at him, but he'll also have been told by his corner that he's ahead.
Yeah, and well ahead. Oh, good right hand there from Davis. And you know, he just got to stay safe now, hasn't he, Ward? Hasn't used the jab much, has he, Ward?
No.
Hasn't needed to be honest. You know, he uses that.
He's just relied on counters, hasn't he?
Yeah, reflexes.
Counters.
Yeah. It's good there from Ward on the ropes.
Well, that kind of illustrated very accurately what we just said. The way he moved away and fired in those counters as he did so.
I sort of feel sorry for Davis at times, because he does all the right things. He gets Ward where he wants him. He puts pressure on, gets him against the ropes, and then Ward comes up with a nice little combination. Spins off then, and Davis got to go all over again.
Still though, Davis keeps coming, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. He has absolutely given everything here tonight. He might not emerge as a winner, but he has certainly left nothing away from this ring. He is giving absolutely everything and fighting with tremendous pride. Good left hand from Ward.
Yeah, nice sharp left hook wasn't for Ward. That's all you can ask. Oh, heads again. Davis knew it was him. I think Davis is cut on the right eye as well.
Well, is it going to be just the warning, or is he going to take a point? I think it's the final riot act from Marcus McDonald. You do it again, and I'm going to take a point away. But he's having a word as well with Tommy Ward.
Nothing malicious there from Davis, just so eager to try and get close to the target.
Well, he's looking for those big headshots, which might yet still turn it around. I'm sure somewhere, sometime, he's had somebody on the ground, but this is what he needs now.
Yeah, he needs what he's never done before, and that's a stoppage. He's never had before. It's good, though, there from Davis.
Well, that is a big effort from Sean Davis in that round, and I think he is cut himself over the right eye, and he deserves a lot of credit for that, because I think he's probably... Referee leading a sporting round of applause for both men. Asking the two to touch gloves. It has been fought in a very good spirit, despite the fact that they both got their badges of conflict.
And it's been entertaining, hasn't it? Without, it hasn't been a barnstormer or such, but it's been entertaining because you get to see the beautiful skills of Tommy Ward and the relentless effort of Sean Davis. And like you said, sometimes you ask for a fight, just give it your all. And leave everything in the ring.
You don't want to, absolutely. He lands the right hand there. You don't want to be walking away with regrets and sort of a what if and all the rest of it. You've got to give everything, commit.
And you always think technically, tactically, I could have done different things, but if you just tried your hardest, which Davis has, then that's all you're going to ask for your fight, and you're proud of him then, whatever the decision will be.
Well, I think they've got a pretty good idea what that decision will be.
You know, I was thinking about Ward, while this fight's going on, thinking how skillful he is and how little he's talked about. to be fair.
Well, he's a fairly self-effacing character, isn't he? He's not a braggart by any stretch of the imagination. He's a classic case of somebody who gets into a ring and lets his fists do the talking. He doesn't make threats, he doesn't badmouth anybody. And he's the British champion, and unless the judges see something vastly different to what we've seen, he's going to remain the British champion.
And a hard man to beat. I'll say that for nothing.
Again, you talk about the lack of power that Sean Davis had. If Tommy Ward could bang a bit more, what a fighter he'd be.
Oh, well, yeah.
But at British level, he is a terrific competitor.
He's kept his boxing together well under pressure, and it's been relentless pressure from Davis. Even though he's sort of made stylistically for Ward in many ways, it's still physically quite hard to keep someone off for 12 rounds, and he's done it quite effectively. And in some parts with ease as well, let's be honest.
We're into the last minute. Last round. And the man from West Rainton, the local man, Tommy Ward, looks as though he's heading towards retaining his title, but another big effort here coming in from Davis. He's trying to stand and trade with Ward.
Oh, he's tried so hard, hasn't he, Davis? He really has. Even here now, he's in the place where he wants to be, and he's the one probably taking more punches than Ward.
Two men who emerged from this with a great deal of credit for all the fact that it's been at times a bit of a bloody contest. It's been fought in a very good spirit. Into the last 10 seconds. Davis continuing to wing them in right to the end, but just couldn't find the big one. And look at that. Look at that between those two men. And that's what it's about.
Yeah, of course it is. You know, thanks for the effort, and Davis, you know, appreciating the crowd there, but he knows that he probably feels that he's come second best tonight against a good champion. Let's be honest, a good champion who boxed to orders, kept his composure under pressure, showed some beautiful skills, and what won in that fight was the footwork. Clear and simple. The footwork from Ward was absolutely perfect.
Did you give Ward the last round?
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, I did. So the sort of rounds like that, when it's the effort, you want to almost give it a draw, but you know, but it was a Ward round for me.
I think you've got it 9-3 in favour of Tommy Ward.
And he's a clear winner.
It's kind of cruel, isn't it, to have that sort of scoreline for Sean Davis because of everything he's given to try and make it a fight.
Yeah, no, the effort's been great, and I think he'll get work off the back of this, because people think they'll be able to outbox him, and they'll come unstuck against Davis for sure.
Look again at that reaction between the two of them at the end.
That's great stuff, isn't it?
Yep, they're going to remember that when they're old and grey.
And that's what you forget. We all talk about the business. It's a business. It's a business. It's a sport first and foremost. Don't forget that, and that's sportsmanship at its best.
Charlie Giles just handing up the deliberations of the judges to our master of ceremonies, Thomas Treiber, and the two fighters just having their gloves taken off. They'll be brought centre ring, and in just a moment or two, Marcus McDonnell will have the two fighters together, and we'll find out who's got it. Is it going to be Tommy Ward retaining the title he won against Jazza Dickens in March? Sean Davis gave it everything. He'll still be hoping, but I'm not sure how much he really believes. But there they are, they're together, and it was a cracking contest. And here is the result. Here's Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Phil Edwards scores it 117 to 112. And both judges, Steve Gray and Dave Paris, are in agreement. They scored the same, 118 to 111, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still, British Super Bantamweight Champion, Thomas Patrick Ward.
Thomas Patrick Ward, the British champion, wins again. Tommy to his mates, and they'll be all celebrating tonight because he really did box rather well.
One thing to win a British title, another to become the dominant man in the division here at home, and with this, maybe Tommy Ward starts in that direction. But from Jamie Moore...